Proportional relationships, lesson 6 notes. Example number 2. Allie mows lawns to make extra money. The equation 30x minus 2y equals 0 compares the amount of money Allie earns, y, to the number of lawns she mows, x. How much does Allie earn for each lawn she mows? So y is the total amount of money she makes, and x is the number of lawns she mows. All right, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to underline that word each. That is very important. A lot of times you're going to see the word each or per. Anytime they're asking you for each or per, they want you to find the unit rate. Go ahead, get that written down. So if anytime they ask you each or per, they want you to find the unit rate. Well, normally you would set up a rate and then find a unit rate, but they gave you an equation. All right, so I can't just set up a rate because I have an equation. Well, that's why we went over slope-intercept form. Okay, if you have an equation and you put that equation into slope-intercept form, then your slope will be in front of x. In other words, I'm going to take the equation they give me, I'm going to solve it for slope-intercept form. In other words, I'm going to solve for y, and the number in front of x will be my unit rate. So I'm going to write down the equation, which is 30x minus 2y equals 0. So this will be a two-step equation. It'll be a two-step equation. So first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that 30x. I want to isolate, remember, I want to get y by itself. I want to isolate the y. So I need to use the inverse operation to get rid of the 30x. So I'm going to subtract 30x from both sides. So I can cancel out the x terms. I'm going to bring down my negative 2y. Now, 0 minus 30x. Because that's a 0, I can ignore it. Because it is a 0, I can ignore it. If that were any other number, that would not be a like term with the negative 30x, and we would just bring both numbers down separately. But because that's a 0, I don't need the 0. In other words, the only thing I need to bring down is the negative 30x. Divide both sides by negative 2. So that means the negative 2's would cancel. And y equals negative 30 divided by negative 2 would be positive 15. So y equals 15x. So solving that equation for y, I get y equals 15x. Write that down over here as well. Okay, if y equals 15x, then I know that my slope is the number in front of x. And the number in front of x is 15. Now remember, I told you that the three things that are really important that you need to remember from this lesson are unit rate, rate of change, and slope are the same thing. Rate of change, unit rate, slope are the same thing. I'm going to keep saying it until you get that in your head. Rate of change, unit rate, and slope are the same thing. Since they asked me to find the unit rate, I found the only thing I needed to do was find the slope, which I did. I found the slope. So in other words, the unit rate equals the slope, which equals $15 per hour. The unit rate equals the slope, which is $15 per hour. But since it was a word problem, I answer it using words. So my final answer is Allie earns $15 per lawn. Allie earns $15 per lawn. Okay, So one type of problem they will give you is an equation. If they give you the equation, you solve for y. Solving for y puts it in slope-intercept form. And if once you have it in slope-intercept form, your slope is the number in front of x, or the coefficient of x. And therefore, if you know the slope, you know the unit rate. If you have any questions on example number 2, please do not hesitate to ask.